for the Tim and Jim Show. I'm Tim Sohn with Sohn Social Media Solutions here in Northeast Pennsylvania with the Bears and Turkeys. And my co-host, Jim. Take it away, Jim Fuse.
And good afternoon, everyone. Jim Fuse with Fusion Marketing. And we are actually, for the first time as a show, multi-streaming using StreamYard natively. I'm here in Marietta, Georgia, excited for Braves Game 5 this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern, when we will be taking on next week's guest team, Mike Allton's St. Louis Cardinals, in the deciding game. So pretty excited that we'll be present. So no hard feelings either way, Mike, whatever happens. But we also wanted to send prayers out to Eddie Garrison, who was supposed to be our guest today. If you were looking for Eddie, we literally just got contacted 31 minutes before the show started that Eddie had to go into the hospital. We're not sure why, but we are praying for all the best, and we hope that it is nothing serious, because Eddie is a great guy, and we do hope to have him back on the show again soon.
Absolutely. And Eddie was going to talk about how to up your social media graphics game. So hopefully when he is well, we can get him back on the show. And because I know there's a lot of interest, at least I could tell online, in this topic as we were promoting the show. So all our prayers to Eddie.
Right. So, this is a new feature that we literally just got, Monday from StreamYard. And so I guess I'll ask you this question.
On the spot.
Why multi-stream?
Why not multi-stream? I mean, I think the main reason you do want to multi-stream is that you can reach more people in more places. And depending on your business, you do want to be strategic in terms of where you're streaming to. But a lot of people do spend time nowadays on more than one social media platform. And I also recommend to all my businesses now to be on more than one social media platform, because Facebook has had so many issues in the last year. For example, we did this Facebook Live show, and it said that we were actually live for 49 hours, but then nobody could watch the video, right, Jim?
That is correct. That was pretty bad. And I think, and I've had a couple people ask me, I know I did a short video yesterday, I think you did as well, on multiple platforms, about the fact that StreamYard had just released this feature. And one of the things that I like, and we're actually doing this right now, I guess you could say, we won't know the quote unquote final results till we take a look at this later, is the fact that, as an example, if good morning, Dave. Glad you could join us. And I know it's still morning for Dave. Dave is one of those live streaming experts that I think we both look up to. He does some amazing things with live streaming and just the tech part. He's a very, very technically savvy person. And so I think it's Dave, if you would remind us, type in the comments the name of your live your page where you give people tips on live streaming. That would be great. And then
also, Dave, let us know what you think of multi-streaming. We would love to know your perspective as well.
Right. And so I think that one of the key things that I like right now is, so where I think even for people, because people will talk about things like Zoom and, you can do stuff on Zoom. StreamYard has a lot of capabilities. We've talked about the screen sharing and things of that nature. But even doing this Facebook Live now, even if we decided in the future, okay, we're not going to go live on YouTube per se, you can go live as an unlisted show on your YouTube channel at the same time with your Facebook Live. And so what it'll do is it's going to give you a higher quality video on YouTube that you can then download and repurpose off of YouTube, instead of having to worry about maybe not quite as good of quality that you would get if you were on just Facebook. So I'm excited about that. So even from creating training videos, right? If you want to do it in a live type feeling, setting is go live on and say, like, we have this test group that we don't, open to the general public, but now we could record something in our secret group that's actually also going to that YouTube group or YouTube page at the same time. Now I have that YouTube video that I can turn into a training video, do some editing. So I think it's just a nice additional way to be able to put your content on other places as well. And so I'm very excited about that. I mean, I think that Restream was nice, and we've got a comment from Dave. So it's Trick My Live is that, and also he has a website, Trick My Live, and yeah. So thank you, Dave, for sharing that. I know Dave does some great things, and so Dave, what do you think of the new feature that StreamYard has rolled out? I mean, were you using the Restream.io? I know I went ahead and canceled my subscription and have basically gone all in at this point with StreamYard. And I know some people say, oh, yeah. So, I mean, so I'd be curious to see what you think, Dave, as far as, do you like this new feature? And he does like the multi-streaming, and he definitely sees it as a way to reach more customers and viewers. So thank you, Dave, for those comments. And so have you been able to see, Tim, are you showing up live on LinkedIn? Are you able to?
I am. I actually got a notification shortly thereafter of going live.
Awesome. Awesome. And
which
so,
does not always happen when you go live on LinkedIn right away.
And so, and obviously not everyone has that capability yet, but here's the thing that people don't maybe not know. You can't schedule on LinkedIn, but what this did was it went live on his LinkedIn when we went live on here. And yeah, so Dave says, so right now that Restream is still the required avenue for him. And it is a good product. I know, I think for what we're doing, that it works just the way that we currently have it set up. And so I guess my next thought to you, Tim, is, do you see any cons in a sense as far as Restreaming? Or I guess, what are the pros and cons in your mind?
Well, I think the pros are that you can reach more potential customers, you can reach more potential, build more relationships with people in more places. I think the cons are, if you don't multi-stream consistently to the same platforms, then people are going to be like, hey, who are you? But on the other hand, even if you're not consistent, I do think people should be consistent. That's my opinion. But even if you say you accidentally go to a channel you don't normally stream on, right? You're getting in front of those people that you don't. So at least some people are going to say, hey, who's this guy? And maybe they'll check you out and want to follow you, even if it's on a different platform. What do you think, Tim?
No, I would agree with you. I think it also partially goes back to, if you want to call it, your why and your target audience. So even though in theory we could potentially have people out there on Twitch, I don't necessarily expect that's going to be the case for me. And so I like too how Robert just brought up a great point. He multi-streams and he doesn't see a con unless you don't, and unless if it's your biz plan is, which wouldn't make sense to me, LOL. So now good points, and I think my issue, like we said previously, was more the fact that it was much more difficult. I think the scheduling piece is what I wasn't really a big fan of with Restream, and I think this just makes it so much easier for us. And I think that also goes into the three pillars of StreamYard, professional looking streams, ease of use, and you remember the third one?
Ease of use, professional looking streams, and Ease of use, professional looking stream. Stability.
And stability, yes.
Which is the main reason we switched.
Yes, that is absolutely right. I forgot because we've been stable for so long. But I also like how they keep adding new features. And
yes.
Right. Yeah, great point. So Robert says, definitely check out StreamYard if they want to go multi-streaming for sure. Because I think if you're first getting started, it definitely, this is a great platform for those people that want to get started. And I think that for us, it's been a lot, there's so many other ways, you got these people that use OBS and, what was it? Wirecast and all these other things. And, some of it is even the technology of the computer needs to be at a certain level. So
right.
I definitely don't, discount that. But I think for a lot of small business owners that are looking to get their message out, if they want to use live video as a way, I think that this is, if not the top, one of the top ways to do so. And Robert also says that he's a radio show content creator, so sound is important to me. So he says, he goes, and I think he meant StreamYard has great audio codecs and multi-stream. Count me in. And I think some of that, and that's an excellent point as well, Robert, is I know for me personally, as I was discussing earlier with Tim before the show started, is I actually have a Samson Q2U microphone, but I am now using a Scarlett 2i2 interface. So I have upped my audio on my platform, as well as I'm also using a Logitech C920, may look at going into the Brio. So I think that's that incremental updates is what we've been doing. Yes, and that's what we thought you meant, Robert, was StreamYard. But maybe someone will come up with SoundStream. It sounds good. It's a good name. But yeah, so I definitely think that is a great point by Robert as well, is how important your audio is, because even ultimately, even by using the avatar function, it's still going to be about your audio. And so you can strip that audio and you can turn it into a podcast, turn it into a flash briefing on Alexa. So there's a lot of things to be said for that. So audio is by far one of the most important things, aside from, we've talked about this a little bit as well, is actually doing the transcribing of your videos, because you got to remember, people aren't always able to listen to what you're saying. And that would probably be the next step in repurposing some of your stuff, is to actually transcribe your videos and have that capability for people to see what you're saying as you're saying it.
That would take a lot of time. I would imagine there's services out there to help you with that.
There are, but they're not free.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah, but I think now too, even more so, where I see this as a pro, is the fact that, as an example, like you said earlier, we had the issue of Facebook down. So if we had been multi-streaming, our show would have been fine on one of these other platforms, and we could even potentially have then taken that, feed off of the original one and uploaded it later back to Facebook. Like, here was the show that didn't go on Facebook, but now we're going to do a premiere to show those folks that missed the original show. And I also think it'll help build that subscriber base for you on some of those other channels, which I know is definitely something that we have both wanted to do. So I think this is exciting. This is on the Tim and Jim Show YouTube channel today, and it's also broadcasting on Tim's LinkedIn. And yeah. Oh, and here's Dave Brown. That's right. That's another good one. I may have to look into that. Is repurpose.io is a really good platform that I know has been talked about in a couple of the town halls for taking your video and being able to do stuff with it after the fact. And great point, Dave. We need to make sure we check that out as well.
And we're also working on repurposing our videos into shorter clips so we can share them on in more bite-sized content across social media.
Yes, because there's a lot to be said for the shorter content. In fact, what I think is a little bit funny, and when I was teaching last week, it was an interesting perspective by some of the students. So I think we're both eligible to monetize on our business pages, but you have to have 10,000 followers, and you have to have at least, 30,000 1-minute views over a 60-day time period of at least 3-minute long videos.
We absolutely qualify. Let's sign up.
Well, no, we don't, because we don't have 10,000 followers.
You have 10,000? Don't we have 11,000?
No, not you might. I don't. Not on my Facebook page.
Just kidding.
But I think that. But what was funny was some of these folks that are watching these Facebook videos do not like the fact that an ad pops up in the middle of the video.
I wouldn't like it.
But that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
That's why we watch Netflix. No ads. And good content.
So Robert's got a question, and I know Rob, you may not have heard, but our guest Eddie Garrison had to go into the hospital literally half an hour before the shows when we found out. So video graphics, I mean, from my own perspective, I like I want to say I like Adobe Spark. And I also do have the Creative Cloud, but I also use Canva. And at least with Spark and Canva, for those people that are maybe on a low budget to no budget, they're both available in a free version that allows you to do quite a bit. So I think those are good. Yeah, so I like that. I meet all the requirements other than the 30,000 minute views. So close. So that's a good point. But what's your favorite graphics programs?
I do like Adobe Spark. I also use Wave.video. So that's another good one. It's not very costly. It's a very simple program. There are definitely limitations to it, but if you're just looking to do a simple video, you want to throw in some graphics, some GIFs, some text here and there, Wave.video is a great way to go. I know Mari Smith is a big fan of them, and I think she's like a brand ambassador for them.
Right.
So
let's see, we have another comment coming up here.
Ooh, awesome.
Now, yeah, Robert says he likes Adobe, but it's so expensive, so he's been looking for an alternative. We'll make sure, Robert, like I said, Adobe Spark is free. It does give you the ability to access some of Adobe's photos and for free that will allow you to use the result of it commercially. And Canva is good, and also, as Tim said, Wave. But I think, does Wave have a free version as well?
I believe they do, or at least they have a free trial if they don't have a free version.
Right. But Canvas definitely can be used for free. I just feel like for some reason, sometimes Adobe's pops. Okay, and Dave Brown, of course, Dave would know because Dave is definitely a guru on stuff. Video. Had not heard of that.
I haven't heard of that one.
Had not heard of that one. And so, so I think that I find, yeah, there's so many, and new ones always are coming out all the time. And so we will I'm adding a banner. So yeah, so those are some of the things. I think this is a very exciting. Oh, and here's another one. A Photoshop freebie. Ooh. Photopia.com. Dave is dropping the knowledge, which he always does. Thank you, Dave. And Robert says, thanks, Dave. So that, yeah, so this has been, definitely some good stuff. So what do you have any other thoughts on multi-streaming other than it's a great thing to do?
I'm just excited about being able to reach more people in more places. And I think especially StreamYard makes it so easy to do. You know, like there's so many complicated programs out there, but StreamYard, it's really just a few steps to get it going, even for multi-streaming, right, Jim?
Yes. And Robert, thank you for that comment. He says he loves coming to the show. He always gets something from it. And, you know, Robert, we need to find out a little bit more about you, because maybe you could be a guest on the show if that's something you'd be interested in. And Dave, not to mention Dave Brown. Dave, we definitely need to get you on this show just to talk about all the different things we can do to trick our shows out, not just us, but the folks that watch our show. So those are definitely, we appreciate both of you watching today. So let's look at getting you guys scheduled. Would you agree, Tim?
Agree.
We'd like to talk to these guys about getting them on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's all connect and it'll be great.
Right. So I think that's, you know, we'll wrap it up a little bit early today, because I know, like I said, we did not expect, unfortunately, our guests to not be here today. So once again, prayers out to Eddie. And once we find out what that if everything is good, we will definitely share it among our social media network. And next week, our guest will be Mike Allton. He's known as the Blogging Brute. He is an incredible social media, and I consider him a guru. So looking forward to having Mike on the show next week. And that sounds good. And one last comment from Robert. He said that he liked the show, and we will definitely be in touch with you. Robert, thanks again. Thank you, Dave. And for those of you watching on replay, let us know what you think of multi-streaming. And if you have questions, make sure you contact either Tim or I, and we would be happy to help you out. And as we always like to say, use StreamYard, because it just makes life that much better. And any final thoughts?
Can I do a shameless plug, Jim?
You're always allowed to do a shameless plug. I mean, why not?
Thank you. On October 17th, I'm doing a class on Facebook ads for holiday sales. It is in Northeast Pennsylvania in Honesdale from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And we'll cover everything from what's the difference between a boost post to Facebook Ads Manager, what you should include in your copy, visuals, how to target the right people, and much more. So if you would like to attend, just get in touch with me. You can email me at tim@stonesocialmediasolutions.com or send me a message on the social network of your choice. And it should be a great class. We just did a class last week on Facebook Live, how to start your own Facebook Live show, when we had a good turnout for that. So hoping for the same next time. So
and look at this final. Gotta give you and Robert can maybe like have coffee at Dunkin' Donuts somewhere in Pennsylvania.
There's lots of Dunkin' Donuts in Pennsylvania and lots of places.
So awesome. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Good luck, Tim, with your class next week, and make sure you follow us on LinkedIn and also on our YouTube channels, which will also have a replay of this show for those of you that could not watch on Facebook today. So thanks again, guys. And thank you, Tim, as always, for being a marvelous co-host. And go Braves.
And thank you, the amazing Jim Fuse of Fusion Marketing. Have a great week, everybody.
See you, everyone.